Hey guys, welcome back. We're going to be gluing the cabinet together. Um, this is not all of it. It's got the two side substrates, the front and the bottom. Just got it stuck together with that one clamp. And there'll be a top substrate and there'll be an arch across the back to hold the rest of the veneer up. For the cabinet, and that'll come in the later stages. I'll do all the gluing off camera, simply because it's difficult getting this all fitted together with glue. It was hard enough getting it together without glue. So anyway, I'll show you what I've got as I progress. Okay, I'm going to describe the next phase of the gluing of the cabinet together. Be a series of glue blocks. This is one of the originals. It's the only one that was salvageable out of the original cabinet, so I'm going to put it back in for sure. This is a spacer that keeps the tuning dial cord and mechanism off the chassis face. There'll be one on each side. There'll be a glue block in the corner here, in each corner, and then there'll be two up here for the top substrate, there and there. And then the back, the horseshoe brace, there'll be another piece like this. And I want to thank Pat, friend. He sent me some good pictures of his 503, and really was able, and some measurements also. I appreciate that. But anyway, this will also help with the veneer as it rounds over. There'll be a glue block here for this top substrate when it comes in like this. And this will probably take me about three different gluings, because I'm going to do this one first and make sure these two are lined up properly and really secure, and then I'll probably glue to the side along with the blocks. So I'll give you an update as I get them glued. Hopefully within the next couple of days we'll be putting veneer. I've been thinking about the veneer and how to bend that. My wife's got a steamer, and I'm kicking around an idea of using it, and we'll see. I'll play with it a little while and see if that'll work. All right, as soon as this glues and sets, I'll get back. Okay, all the clamps are off of it. Go over what all I've done. Put the top substrate on. Put the glue blocks in. This back part is horseshoe shaped, and so I was watching a video of Restore Old Radios, Don, one of my subscribers, on his radio series. He did a fit test, which I have done a fit test to make sure that the holes line up and everything lines up in the front. Already did that. So just something, when I was starting to glue this together, said, well, let's see if it works. So I had glued the glue blocks in. I hadn't put the top substrate or the back, but I had this part. If you'll remember, I had these clamped together and glued, but did not have it in the cabinet itself. So I set it in place, took the radio, and any way I turned it would not go in. I did not have the exact measurements of these pieces here, so you know, if you're flipping a coin, you got a 50-50 chance of getting it right? Well, when you're dealing with various measurements, you don't have that good a chance as if you're guessing. So that's what I was doing based upon just visual. And I guessed wrong. I poor chosely. I chose poorly, as a line in the movie. So anyway, I end up having to cut this out a little bit more. Got to looking at this particular section of it. I didn't have the benefit of the cabinet. All I had was the front and the bottom to work with from, and some pictures of a 503. And I did not know what was in this section here. A lot of radios I've seen, a cardboard or a thin substrate of some sort reinforcing this area right here. Don't have any at this point. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to take my Dremel tool, grind this down about 1/4 of an inch in, about 1/16 of an inch all the way around, and I'm going to glue popsicle sticks from a craft store. They're more like tongue depressors, but glue them across here till I get to the corners, and I'm going to leave gaps in them so that I'll still have the curvature, but I'll have something in this section. The veneer that came off of this, I'm sure it was a lot thicker than the veneer that I'm using. And so anyway, I'm going to attempt to build some sort of structure in both sides here with tongue depressors or popsicle sticks or whatever. And I think it'll be an easy fix on that. But I did a little bit of experimentation last night of bending some old veneer. So my idea of bending the veneer is, after I get this supported a little bit more right in this area, I'm going to take and apply glue up to about right here. I'm going to have my veneer, and it's going to be a little bit long, about 1 inch on each end. I'll set it up on a block or something, so it'll be suspended above, so my veneer will be a little bit lower so I can do the trimming. I'm going to bring it up to right here, glue it, and clamp it. That's it. After that has set, then I'm going to come back, glue to here, wet or dampen my veneer, use a hair dryer to heat it a little bit, make my bend, and make the glue to here. Make sure that all this is set. Then phase 3, do the same thing and glue it. I'm going to glue it in 3 phases in one single piece. Now I've ordered a triple beading router bit. It was shipped today, and it'll be here this next week. I've got a piece of oak. Now this one, now the 503 has trim around the bottom. The 502 had little claw legs right here, which I have. I don't have them down at the shop. I'm in a new location today. I've cleaned up down here where I can do a little bit of work and get out of the kitchen where so I don't make such a big mess. But it's got claw feet that goes on the skids or sleds or whatever you want to call them on here, and they're beaded on the front. Well, the 503 has a beaded comb. I call it a rooster comb for whatever it's trim work. Hangs over the top edge, goes down. It's 3/4 of an inch wide. Goes down to the back of the cabinet. I've got that bit coming, and should be able to. I've got a piece of oak that I'm going to be working with a little bit today to get it shaped up, and then when the bit comes, we'll be able to route it and make that. And the reason I say that the 502 had it, even though it wasn't there, is on the front of the initial. When I first got the cabinet, you could see where something about 3/4 of an inch left a mark right along in there. So that's what I'm going to go back with. Another feature that I almost forgot, and and you can't see it because it will be highlighted a little more when I go with the stain and everything here. But this is beveled as the original was, just under this window, and it'll be highlighted a little bit when I make it a little bit darker. Now I've experimented with some colors. Thinking about going back. This is my preference, the gun stock right there. But I took some old, same type of cherry veneer. This is the golden oak, which is not too bad. Don't know how those are showing up. And special walnut. That's not a bad color. And the rosewood, which is not a bad color. Actually, the rosewood today is looking pretty doggone good, in my opinion. It may come back to gunstock or rosewood. So I don't know. I'll lay these down and shoot them all at once, side by side, so you can see it. There's the golden oak, the gun stock, the special walnut, and the rosewood. Hard decision to make. I think they all look pretty good. Okay. I was really concerned about that gap in the radio, and in those days, the veneer was a lot thicker than what I'm using, so I was really concerned about that. So I cut this down about 1/16 of an inch or so, and put craft tongue depressors. I went to a craft store and filled this in to reinforce each end. All that's going to be is a form. I just didn't want that to be the thin veneer right here. Somebody pick it up or whatever and put a thumb through that for sure. Also turned right around and I glued veneer to reinforce the backing. So that I think that's going to be a lot stronger now. Substrate. I was just looking at my sleds or my wooden legs. I think this is probably going to do it for this video. It seems like these things are just dragging on. Just every time I turn around, there's more work to do, but I want to make sure it's right and everything like that. So in the next one, I'm going to go ahead and put the veneer on. In my mind at this point in time, what I plan on doing is to glue one side, have enough piece, glue it one side, flip it over, and glue the top, and then glue the side in 3 different phases. Also plan on, this is the piece that, and I believe this is the strip I'm going to use. It's a good piece of oak. It's got some good grain in it right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to round it over and make it very similar to this, only about half as wide as this. And the 503, and like I said earlier, it clipped over just like that. So it'll be very similar to that, made out of this material. So I'm waiting on a bit, router bit, to do this work. I'll include that in the next video. We'll also do the finishing of it as far as the staining and lacquer toners if I decide to use any. I know I'm going to use some around the windows and down on the accent this slit that I put in the bottom. Alright, that's it for now, and so thanks for watching, and stay tuned, and if you have any ideas, I'm entering the weakest phase of all my cabinetry skills, and that is the finish work, the veneering and the finishing work. So if you have any ideas or tips for me, please include them. I'd be more than happy to listen to them. I'm going to have to do some serious studying between now and the time that I do the next video. Once again, thanks for watching.